Ever get that feeling? You know that feeling where you're just throwing money away on Google Ads, like some campaigns are, I don't know, just coasting, barely alive.
Yeah, like a car sputtering on fumes, about to run out of gas.
Exactly. And today's deep dive is all about plugging up those leaks. And we're starting with a term you might not expect, zombie products.
Zombie products, it's a fitting name, isn't it?
It really is. So what exactly are we talking about here when we say zombie products?
We're talking about those products lurking in your campaigns, technically live, but they haven't gotten a single click in over a month. They're just dot existing, taking up space, and most importantly, draining your ad budget.
It's like that box of clothes in the attic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know it's there, but you're probably never going to actually wear any of it again. And we've got some great insights from this Panos piece that explains why this happens.
Mm.
And it's not always about products that totally bombed, right?
Right. It could be something as simple as, demand shifted. Maybe there's a newer version of the product. Or it could be that the pricing just got out of whack.
Okay, so it's like the island of misfit toys, but for e-commerce.
Huh. I like that. But seriously, this piece breaks down why ignoring these digital dust collectors, as you called them, can really hurt when it comes to your bottom line.
So let's unpack that. What kind of damage are we talking about here?
Well, think of it like this. Every dollar you spend on ads for these underperforming products, those are dollars that could be going towards something that's actually converting, actually making you money.
Right, so it's like throwing money into a bottomless pit.
Pretty much. It impacts your visibility, your overall campaign visibility, and honestly, it's just not a smart use of your resources.
Definitely not. So how do we even start tackling this? I mean, where do we begin?
The article mentions this three-step process: identify, label, and manage.
Okay, identify, label, manage. Got it. So let's start with identify. First, we've got to find these digital dust collectors, right?
Exactly.
And they mentioned using a Google Ads script for this, which might sound a little intimidating to some people, but I promise it's actually pretty simple.
It really is. You don't need to be a coding whiz or anything like that. There are pre-built scripts available.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, and we'll link to a couple of good ones in the show notes.
Huh.
There's one directly from Google and then another from a company called Flow Boost. And these scripts will basically do the heavy lifting for you. They'll find those products that have gone MIA in the clicks department.
So the script is like our own personal zombie tracker. I love it. It goes out there, sniffs them out in the vast graveyard of our Google Ads campaigns.
That's a great way to put it.
So once we've identified these underperformers, what's next?
Well, next up is step 2.
Labeling.
Yes, labeling. We got to label these products.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit more about what that actually means?
Sure. So the script that we talked about, it helps you export data, basically create like a list of those zombie products. Labeling is all about creating a custom designation in Google Merchant Center so you can quickly identify and manage these products within your campaigns.
Got it. So we're essentially rounding them up and putting a big, bright zombie sticker on them.
Exactly. Think of it like organizing your pantry. You're not throwing everything away. You're just putting the stale crackers in a separate container so you know not to reach for them first.
Such a good analogy. Okay, so we've identified our zombies. We've slapped a label on them. Now for the big question. How do we actually manage them? So our zombie products are officially rounded up. They're labeled. We've got our metaphorical hazmat suits on, ready to go.
Right, time for action.
So what happens next?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. You see, we've got our list of potential zombies, right? But this Panos article, it makes a really important point. Just because a product hasn't gotten clicks in a while doesn't automatically mean it's destined for the digital graveyard.
Wait, really? So you're saying we shouldn't just hit, like, pause on all these products immediately?
Not necessarily. It's like, imagine you're cleaning out a really overstuffed closet.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Right. And you find the shirt you haven't worn in ages. Do you just immediately toss it out? Or do you maybe hold it up, you consider it for a second, maybe even try it on, see if it sparks joy,
Okay, I like where you're going with this. So we're saying don't just assume the worst.
Yeah.
Give these products a fair shot.
Exactly. The article actually calls this the prudent approach.
The prudent approach.
Yeah, so instead of just deleting these products from your campaigns outright, you run an experiment, create a separate but like an identical campaign, right? But in this one, you exclude the zombie products. Then you let it run alongside your original campaign and see what happens.
So we're essentially A/B testing our campaigns then, seeing if those zombie products are actually the ones dragging down the performance.
Exactly. And here's why this is so crucial. you might discover that, wow, your campaigns perform way better without those specific products.
Right.
That's valuable data. But on the other hand, you might find that the performance difference is, pretty negligible.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that could indicate that there are actually other factors at play, things that are impacting your campaign's overall visibility, things that have nothing to do with these so-called zombie products.
That's such a good point. So we could be blaming these poor products when really it's something else entirely. Maybe our bidding strategy needs some work. Or maybe, I don't know, our target audience has shifted or something.
Precisely. This method, it's not just about eliminating zombies, it's about understanding that wider picture of your campaign health and then making, those data-driven decisions.
Right.
It's the difference between reacting and being proactive.
Wow. Okay, this is really giving me a whole new perspective on how to approach my Google ads, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But let's say we run our experiment, and sure enough, those zombie products, they're dragging down the performance of our main campaign.
Mm-hmm.
What then? Do we finally get to put them out of their misery?
Well, even then, deletion, it might not be the answer. Remember that whole stale crackers analogy? Maybe instead of just tossing them, you crush them up and use them for breadcrumbs.
Okay, now you're blowing my mind.
Finding a new purpose for something that you thought was past its prime.
So you're saying even if a product isn't performing well as is, there might be other ways to utilize it.
Absolutely. Let's say you've got a product that used to be a top seller, but now it's like certified zombie status. Instead of completely removing it, consider, why is it no longer performing? Is it the price, the product description? Maybe it needs some fresh images or a new ad campaign highlighting its unique features. Sometimes all it takes is a bit of creative optimization to revive a product's performance.
So we're essentially playing Google Ads doctor here. We've identified the patients, we've run our tests, and now we're coming up with a treatment plan. It's not just about elimination, it's about strategic revitalization.
Exactly. And that, my friend, is the real power of understanding this whole concept of zombie products. It's about approaching your Google ads with a more, a nuanced analytical mindset, one that seeks to understand the why behind the numbers and make informed decisions that optimize your campaigns for, that long-term success.
This has been incredibly insightful. But I have to ask, this whole approach, the identifying, labeling, managing, could it work for other elements of our Google ads, not just products?
You're thinking about keywords, ad copy, maybe even landing pages?
Exactly. If a product can become a zombie, can't the same thing happen to those other crucial components of our campaigns?
That's a brilliant observation. And you're absolutely right. In fact, the principles we've been talking about, they can actually be applied to way more than just products. Think about it.
Yeah.
Keywords.
Okay.
Keywords that used to be like traffic magnets, but now they've gone silent.
Oh, right.
Ad copy that just doesn't resonate with people anymore.
Right.
Even landing pages, right? That are outdated. Or they're not converting. They can all basically become zombies.
Wow.
Yeah, lurking in the shadows of your campaigns, quietly draining your budget.
So you're saying, our entire Google Ads account, it could basically be a zombie apocalypse waiting to happen.
Oh, let's not get too dramatic.
Okay.
But I think you get the point. This whole, this framework, identify, label, manage,
Right?
it's powerful. And you can use it strategically across your entire account.
What's the whole thing?
Across the whole thing. It's about, being proactive, analyzing that performance data regularly, and then not being afraid to experiment, right?
All right.
See what's working, what might need, a little reanimation.
Wow, this is eye-opening. We've gone from slaying individual zombie products to, potentially saving our whole campaigns from, a digital undead fate. All thanks to this, simple three-step process.
And the big takeaway here, I think, is data. Let data drive those decisions.
Right, data-driven.
Don't just assume something is dead weight. Test it.
Right.
Analyze what happens, and then you make that decision about how you manage it.
This has been amazing.
Yeah.
Seriously. We went from, fearing these zombie products to seeing them as, opportunities. We can optimize and learn from this.
Totally. And the best part is you've got the tools now.
Right.
You understand the concept. You know the strategies. So you can go and address these issues.
In our own campaigns.
In your own campaigns.
Amazing. Well, to our listeners, we say, go forth. Conquer those Google ad graveyards.
Exactly. And if you find anything interesting, right, like really interesting zombie outbreaks, or you've got any, optimization war stories,
let us know.
Yeah, we want to hear them.
We love to hear about everyone's successes. And, of course, all the zombie slaying adventures.
Always.
Until next time, happy optimizing, everybody.